Hey, I'm Matthew Crutchfield.
Hi, I'm Ryan Moritz.
You know, God is good, even when things suck, even when things are hard.
Pretty much my whole life I've dealt with abandonment and anger. And this freshman year of college has been pretty hard.
I feel like that's a lesson that every believer needs to learn at one.
I kind of just expected coming into college that it would be perfect.
Point in his life, or that's a lesson to learn,
And in July of 2010, before I came, just my family dealt with a lot of issues.
A year ago, well, let me give you some background. I had this youth pastor, and he's a stud. He's so cool. He loves Jesus. He loves his wife. He loves God, first and foremost. He loves his youth group.
My grandma's house that we've been trying to sell for about a year now just wasn't selling. I found out that not only was I having personal financial issues, but so was my family.
He had a passion to help people, to counsel people when they hurt, when they felt lost.
And then I broke up with my boyfriend of 2 years. Everything just seemed to be falling apart.
This youth pastor, he woke up and decided that God couldn't be real, and that he had been following a lie for a good 10 years of his life.
And I came into college just thinking that it would fix everything. And I came pretty much emotionally exhausted and with a lot of baggage.
So he left his wife, he left the youth group, and he left the church.
And first semester I just seemed to deal with trial after trial after trial.
But it took me about a year for that to settle.
And I just felt like I could never stop and breathe and process what was going on and how I was going to deal with it and get through it. It just seemed to be bang, 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 one after the other.
But he was gone. And that hurts, That's hard. That's hard to watch someone who taught you, who counseled you, and he walks away.
And over Christmas break, when some things started to seem like they were being resolved, I thought second semester would be better. 2 weeks in, trial started again.
I can remember going to him and telling him about my struggles with suicide, with wanting to end my life, and he was there. He was there to help me.
I seemed to deal with a week of constant struggle is how I kind of describe it. I found out that an offer on my grandma's house had fallen through. I realized how broke I was, and I mean literally broke. And I was just stuck, just struggling and hurting, and I felt like nobody understood.
A couple points, I guess, in the summer where I noticed that it was affecting me in different ways. I think the biggest part where it came in was through a friend's dream. A friend of mine who was at the same camp that I was over the summer, he came up to me and said, "Matthew, I have great news. I had this dream that he was back. He was back at our church. He was teaching lessons. He was back with his wife."
So one night during this week of struggle and trial, I just came to the Lord in prayer. I just couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't handle the thoughts that nobody cared and the feelings of hurt and pain. So I just prayed to the Lord that he could have it all, because I couldn't control it. It was out of my hands.
And we both took that as, yes, this is an answer to prayer. This is God bringing back our mentor, our friend. And it hasn't happened yet. It might never happen. I don't know.
It just seems like a lesson that I've been learning this year has been that everything works together for good. I really trust the words of Romans 8:28 that says God works everything to good for those who love Him and those who are called according to His purposes.
What's been happening for this year, these last 2 semesters, has been me holding on to a faith, holding on to a belief of religion per se that leaders walk away from. I mean, how are you going to do that? How are you going to follow something that the people who aren't supposed to walk away?
So I was just questioning, how would God bring me through this constant trial? And it just seemed that the Lord gave me this constant, overwhelming sense of peace that was underneath all of the problems that were at the time.
What has been amazing though through this experience, through this, I guess, different feelings of like betrayal or pain or whatever, is that I've learned what faith looks like, what actual, real, tangible faith. When you see someone you know walk away, you have to ask, well, could that be me? Is that me? Am I walking in the same direction they are? And then you kind of go back to your roots.
And so even while these problems were at the surface, it didn't matter because I knew that God was in control and that He was going to take care of them and for my good. And even if I didn't understand what He was doing, he was in control.
As much as this whole kind of experience has hurt, it's been awesome. It's been strengthening.
Slowly but surely He's taking care of the problems. And I don't really understand how He's done it or why. And you know, it's not necessarily in the way that I expected, but it seems to be better.
God is good, even when people walk away from Him. God is good even